They say they could. What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for joining us again for this live podcast from Broke to Millions, where we share the secrets of success, life, money, and real estate. This podcast is for the person who wants to elevate their life, money, and real estate game, a real life monopoly. Whether you're a sophisticated investor, a beginner, or whether you want to be active or passive, man, accredited or non-accredited, I will share all my real estate experiences with you. I will share my ups and my downs. And so whatever you need assistance, you can leverage my experience so you can turn it all the way around here, because here at Nassau, we're the #1 real estate experts with real solutions. But before we get started, I have to tell you about our sponsor. And our sponsor for today is the BRRRR 360 conference. That's right, the BRRRR 360 coming September 13th through the 15th. Cincinnati, Ohio, baby, is going down at the Sheraton. No, it's in Sharonville at the Delta. All right, the Marriott Delta, September 13th through the 15th, man. It's going down, man. We'll show you everything. Learn how to house hack, the BRRRR, how to make profits from the apartments to hotels to development, how to you leverage to do Airbnbs, house hacking, everything. Private lenders, hard money lenders, your mama does lending, and their baby cousins, they all gonna be there, and you too should be there too. Just don't bring your baby mama, okay? I ain't got time for baby mama drama, all right? No, look, man, let's get it going, man. But before we get started, man, I got my man on the audio and visual, Walt Piper. What's up, brother? No mic, no mic. He didn't sacrifice everything. I'm out. We got 4 mics. Why don't you have a mic? Every week. Yeah. I don't know how this guy's still here. Every week. I'm not that important. Every week, he got one damn job. Comic relief around. One damn job, and he'll never get that damn job right, man. Moving on. My man, the Asian persuasion, all the way from the Philippines, by the way of Avondale in Cincinnati, right there in the hood. You're the only Asian in the hood over there, man. Wendell de Guzman. What's up with it, man?
Good. How are you, Mike?
It's all good, man. What's cracking?
I can see you're wearing shorts, like.
Hey, man, I'm enjoying this.
Are you going to jump in the pool or something?
Maybe later on tonight. I do got my colors today, right?
Yeah.
What's up, man? What are we doing today?
Yeah, so we will talk about, this topic that really prevents a lot of real estate investors from, number one, even doing a deal, or maybe they've done a few deals, but they cannot scale up.
Really?
That is lack of capital, right?
Really?
So today we will show you guys how you can raise millions in private capital.
We're going to show them that.
Even if, you don't have any rich friends and family members.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I hate, man.
So,
I ain't really even doing a big vacation because my broke ass family.
So your experience shows, Mike, that
I did see your mama new car, though.
Mama got a new car. Woo! I got hustled for that too,
Oh, you got hustled for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Mom calls me and she says, "Hey, I'm buying a car and you're buying it." I said, "Wait a minute, that don't sound right."
All right. So after we show you guys exactly what we do in order to raise private capital, okay. So we will interview.
Who are we interviewing?
One of the main speakers of the BRRRR 360 conference.
Who are we interviewing?
Nate BRRRR.
What? We got my man Nate Bizaga in the building.
All right. And then we will answer.
What is he doing? He in the green room? We don't have a green room.
Yeah. So then we will answer. Do I have a mic? There you go. Then we will answer all your questions, guys. So this is your opportunity to ask Mike and Nate, any questions that you guys have. I mean, these guys are the real deal. They've done 3,000 apartment units in the past 20 years, right? And 4 hotels, building their 5th one in Sarasota, Florida. So, I mean, those are the kind of people you need to ask questions from, right? And really learn from. And then lastly, the last part of the show.
What's the last part?
Is the most important part of the show is Mike's millionaire mindset.
Hey, we're gonna dig into that mindset today, bro. I got some fire for you.
Yeah,
hot fire.
Right. See, because guys, you can learn all these techniques. I mean, especially Mike, raising money. Raising money, it's all about mindset, isn't it? Right? Man,
mindset is everything.
Yeah.
I was listening to the guy today, and he was like, it's not education, which I kind of disagree about, but he was like, it's not education. It's mindset what keeps people in generational poverty. I was like, ooh, I mean, but like real. Now, some of you just take this for granted. We're going to get started, man. Some of you take it for granted, but like growing up, and some of you are older, but you may not experience, but growing up, I was a 70s baby, but most young Black kids growing up, they were told people don't want to see you succeed. Constantly reminding you, you Black. Constantly reminding you, like, you got to work 10 times harder, but that's a plus. But at that early age, a lot of people, which I was surprised, their parents or surroundings didn't tell them that you could be anything. And so when you're taught at an early age that regardless of race, color, creed, sexuality, that you can't be something, or you can, but they always trying to hold you back, your mindset already kind of screwed.
That's true.
You're already limited. Your mindset is already limited. And yes, you need education, but it's this belief in yourself. Man, don't get me started, man. Let's get started, boy. I'm gonna get.
Yeah. So anyway, let's jump into the topic, how to attract millions in private capital, even if all your friends and family are broke.
Oh man, and I got some broke family. That's why I'm only going to Brookwood Lake. Now, that's a good time, but that's just right up the street. That ain't no Destin. All right. So how to raise millions in private capital, even if your friends or family are broke. See, what I don't want is if I go on vacation and I invite everybody, then my family will be like, okay, I'm coming. I was like, whoa. Wait a minute. Where is your contribution to this house? Let's see, there's room for me and there's room for you and your money, honey. Okay.
Oh, rough.
Hey, that's that Dave Chappelle. Whatever, man.
All right, let's move on.
Let's go, man. How to raise money in private capital, even if your friends or family are broke, man. This is a Broke to Millions Live. Hey, in case you didn't know, man, I've been investing since 1999. Lost it all in 2002, 2003. Found myself, but recovered from all of that. And look, I did over 1,500 units, 40 houses. I got industrial warehouses and 81. And listen, I did all this through a recession or a correction, whatever. Look, we were so broke, we didn't even know we were in a recession. I was like, this is everyday living for me. Hey, y'all complain about rates. Dude, it was just 8%. Do you realize we were doing deals at 11, 12, and 15%?
Yeah.
With 5 points and still getting the bag?
Right. People
man, don't tell me about hyperinflation. Don't get hyperinflation. Inflation is good. But if the government cannot put it under control, now that's a bad problem. Right? We'll be over there looking like Greece and Germany and Yugoslavia. But we ain't gonna get into that today because our government's got it under control. But look,
hopefully,
don't just because inflation and rates are increasing, you can still do more deals. Guess what? It's just you're not gonna pay as much.
Yeah.
The rate, it's gonna decrease.
Yep.
And you need to know this in order to raise money. You got to understand what the rates and everything is doing. So that's a side note. We'll talk about, matter of fact, we're going to talk about that later on tonight too. All right, let's go. Franklin already raised his hand. See what Franklin want, man. Just in the past 3 months, we attracted 10 million for 3 hotels through social media. Through my social media, with one group, we raised $5 million. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna share with you. Truly through social media. I didn't know them. We sat, we talked, we shared about goals. And you know what's one thing? I'm gonna jump. I always talk about getting to know them, and that is establishing a relationship if you really want to value and really grow. But man, some of these people, man, they don't even talk to these people. They're signing up. It's so digital now. And people, you get these younger millennials investing, they don't even want to talk. It's like, where I send my $50,000 or $100,000? Like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't you want to talk for a second? No, I don't do well in communicational settings. Just, I think you know what you're doing. And I see that you know what you're doing. Here's $50,000. Here's $100,000. It's starting to get that easy.
Nice.
Socially awkward.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Mm-hmm. As long as they have money, you don't care if there's
where the money reside. You know, that guy was on a TV show the other day. He blew it up. I blew him up. Or did he? No, really, I shouldn't even say that. Let's go to the next one.
Next one.
So look here, man, the BRRRR 360 conference. But before we start, a few words from the sponsor of the show. Okay, who's the sponsor of the show?
BRRRR 360.
Oh, all right. That was weird. But before we start, a few words from the sponsor of the show. This is awkward. This is these socially awkward moments that we're talking about.
This is proof.
When they give us a warning.
This is proof you did not review the slides first. All right, move on. Let's move on.
Okay.
Just go to BRRRR360.com.
Oh, thank you. Go to BRRRR360.com and sign up. Like I said, you're going to learn everything you need to know. This is one of the biggest conference shows that's going to happen in Cincinnati. Not just in Cincinnati, in the U.S. One of the biggest. Actually, it would be it's going to be the greatest. It's the greatest. All right. So the fastest way to grow, I can't see, for real estate investors, attract private investors through social media. Fastest way to attract millions of private capital through social media is the new model, right? We love the new model. Hey, but look, man, before we keep going, man, tell us where you're from. So glad you joined us. You know, Angela, Arthur, Carlo, Instagram, YouTube. You know, where you from? What do you want to learn about? But we're talking about raising capital. Tell me any different topics. Where you from? Where you doing? Where you reside? Where your money reside? Okay, let's go. So let's talk about
if you know, we will choose one lucky winner. You know, in an audience participant, whatever, who stay until the very end. We will give you a Mike's book from Broke to Millions.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
A T-shirt.
All right, from man, I saw one from Jonesboro. I thought he was about to say Johannesburg. I was like, oh, we got him. No, but he's just Jonesboro, Arkansas. Okay, right. Mike in Connecticut. Glad you're in the building. New Orleans checking in. Oh, Cincinnati in the building. And I just landed from Cincinnati and Boston. Instagram is checking in. SoCal in the house. That's right, New Jersey. Jake from Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Hawaii, man, Chris. Phoenix in the building. Fresno, man, everybody.
All right.
From Massachusetts. All right, man. It's still Mississippi. Cricket letter, yes. I, humpback. Is here. It's here.
There's a doctor in the house, Craig.
There you go. Craig Peterson, the building, Virginia. Raj, I see you. Detroit, always representing Motown. So why is social media the fastest way to attract private capital from real estate investments? Because half the world is on it and it's growing. Man, if you're not on social media, man, you need to get there. This is where people getting their information from. You know, it used to be they get on the news channel or they get it. Well, now they are. Look, people are not even printing their newspapers really, because now they're going online through an app and download. You know, I don't know how it's set up, but really a lot of my news in the morning, not from the TV station, not from the radio. I'm getting it from my phone. And I'm learning more and more about Kanye and Kim Kardashian than I want. All right. I don't know why that pops up.
All right.
But inflation, real estate, all these different things, all through social media, the trends, what people are investing in, all through social media. They're in a matter of seconds. You remember back in the day where you were growing up and you had this big volume of encyclopedias? Yeah, right. Yeah. You had A. One book was A, the other one B, and then I don't know. They mixed in P, Q, R, and L, right?
Yeah.
They blew it out. Now, fingertips, right on social media. They're there to entertain and educate and capture. And from there, that's where all the information out. And so why not leverage that platform to share your information for people to know? You know, I know way more people now through social media. Matter of fact, I don't even know everybody. All right. We're now Nate more than me, but like when we're out of town, people are walking up to us.
Hey, I was in the store today walking, and I was talking on the phone, and some guy turned around and he heard my voice. And I knew at that point that I was famous. He's like, "You're from TikTok." I was like, "Oh my God."
Really?
Autograph. He was like, "No."
Yes, man. Social media, man. It's where it's at. All right. So let's get back to that. So that's how powerful. Let's go to the next one. And so total minutes, let's get down to even the total minutes spent on social media. People are spending more than 2.5 hours a day on social media.
And that's just an average.
That's an average.
So that means
that's not the one that's on there all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my child.
Yeah. Like half the world is spending more time than 2.5 hours per day.
Yeah, and then don't forget on a long trip, especially if they're in a car, right? Mm-hmm. And they advertising, social media. People are spending 2.5 hours a day. You got to get your message over there. It's one of the easiest platforms where you can share your message. And look, I know some of you'll be like, well, I post my message and I only got one like. Look, don't worry about it. Nate and myself, I started off first and I was doing social media and I probably had 10 views. Then it went to 300, then to 1,000. And then views I never even thought about people like, hey, I saw you when you did this, this, and this. So I was like, oh, you were one of the 300? But my point is getting to people that's relevant and need your information and that's willing to be a part of what you're doing as long as you're educating them. Let's go to the next one. But a lot of real estate investors don't know how to use social media to attract private capital. One of the big mistakes people make, and I always share like this, they're begging for money. Look, this is a real post right here. You see it in all yellow, right? My team and I are looking for investors, equity partners for our first deal. First of all, first mistake. Yes, it's yellow and that's okay, but it's literally got lemons. That's so symbolic, right? Your deal is a lemon. First of all, stop, right? You got to educate people, but also you got to make sure it's symbolic as well. Number two, this can be potentially illegal unless you filed an exemption with the SEC. So look, there's certain laws and policies you have to file to stay in compliance in order to raise capital. So, just don't go out there and start posting different things. And number three, investors don't invest with someone who has no experience or track record. Literally, they say, we need investors for our first deal. Yeah, we definitely need a doctor on this one. We need a doctor to work on this social media right here. Okay.
Social media doctor.
Yeah, we need the social media doctor, but I'm here to heal you so that you can raise this capital. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So instead of begging for money, your posts have to build credibility of your team of partners and get people to like you or connect with you. That's one of the things. Share with people, and I'm about to give you that system that will help you grow your social media and get it to the people you need. The goal is to get people to want to chat with you, to interact with you. And the way they do it is when you sell them or tell them about your deals, all right?
Yeah, so when they So the goal of social media is to get people interested enough to reach out to you. And when they do, that's when you sell. A lot of people make the mistake of, hey, I have this deal, and you're trying to sell yourself on social media. You're trying to sell the deal.
Right.
That's the wrong approach, because people hate to be sold to, but people like to buy from
That's
people
right.
they like and trust. So people like to invest with people they like and trust. So the key is getting them to like and trust you first. So
there you go. Do you like and trust me?
What do you think, Mike?
I don't know. I guess you're here. You're still here, so I guess you still like and trust me. All right,
next one.
Let's go. So the other way is one of the first things in the new model as well is to educate, to build credibility or the credibility of your team and partners. You got to educate people. And it's simple, man. You can do blogs. You can post about past deals. You can provide information about real estate investing. But some of you are like, that's great, Mike, but I've never done a deal.
I'm new.
I'm new. Literally, I'm new, right? I don't know what to post. Look, this is America. You can model. As in college, we said it's better to cheat than repeat. But what they call it now is modeling, right? Literally, you just model someone else a post and share it. Or you can share different posts that you found on USA Today, talking about inflation.
Talking about real estate news.
Yeah.
Redfin,
Yeah, and people didn't know
Zillow,
about it.
right.
All these different things. Some of your lookers are not looking at these things. And you shared it, and then you educated and interacted with them when they respond. That's how you begin to educate your people. And you educate yourself as well, right? Let's go to the next. So here's an example of an educational post. I actually share, so many people talk about no money down and, there's no way you can do no money down. How can you still do money? I'm still doing no money down deals, even with large commercial deals. It's the same principles, and I'm still using it today. And this post was one of my largest posts that got numerous impressions. For those who don't know what impression is, that's when people look at that for a minimum of 1 second. And when they do that, it hits the algorithm where it promotes it out and sends it out to multiple people. So we had I don't know how many,
it's
50-some thousand views.
It's more than 1 second, Mike. It's
okay.
1 minute or so.
Okay, excuse me, man.
This is not TikTok, this is LinkedIn. So we got over 50,000 views on this one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So the people, when they start doing things like that, they are getting the message. Right?
Yeah, and what you did here is educate people on, hey, I got this building for only 1% assumption fee, and this is how I did it. And it's people are shocked. It can be done on a hotel.
Yeah,
on a hotel, which is a $8.5 or $8 million deal that you can do it with practically no money down.
That's what I like.
That blew people's minds. So
let's go next. Here's another example of educated posts. And this is Tim, one of our students, man. He just talked about syndicating. And I don't even think he was just learning himself. I'm not saying he didn't know syndication, but he was learning and sharing what he learned. And it got great traction. A lot of people interact. He even got some investors off of this post. Literally, people are just posting things that they know and want to share, that they're passionate about. Sometimes not even passionate. They just providing quality information. Look, when you provide quality information, when you add value to people, when you share what it is that's your passion or what's shared in your gift, what happens is you begin to create a brand loyalty, right? People begin to want to learn more from you. They want to even buy from you. They want to buy courses. They want to be trained under you, all because you're willing to share your information.
Yeah. And sometimes, guys, you might think, what's so profound about, wholesaling or whatever it is that about real estate, right? Well, there is this thing called the gift or the curse of knowledge, so because a lot about something specific like real estate investing, you might think that that's common sense, that people should know what, 6% mortgage, whatever is, you'll pay more than 3% mortgage. I mean, I'm citing a crazy, stupid example like that just to illustrate the point, but you'll be amazed that, the simplest things that you thought are simple to people, but if you post something about real estate that people will be more than happy to like, hey, thanks for this, thanks for the content that you provided, and then eventually, right, they'll invest with you. So let's move on.
Let's go to the next one. So to get people to like you and connect with you, you could put out posts that engage, encourage, and entertain. There's the 3 E's: engage, encourage, and entertain. Ask people what they think about a deal. Share something personal about you. What is your story? How did you get here? Share something funny. A lot of our posts that we share, at least on Instagram, which is turning into a different animal, right?
Right. Changing the algorithm.
We're sharing different posts as a reel, and they're getting tons of views, tons of them. But then we go on to LinkedIn, they rather just see us talking and posting.
Yeah. So like each social media platform has its own personality, if you will. So it's like a post that does well on LinkedIn might really do badly on Instagram, and vice versa. Sometimes you don't know until you post it. So don't overthink it. That's
that's one thing I'm guilty of. There's numerous times where I was like, man, I ain't posting that. That's stupid. And Wayne was like, shut up, just put it out, and ended up being our best post. I'm like, why you share that information? That's personal. Just put it out there. People loved it, man.
Yeah. And then sometimes even sharing your failures or your mistakes get investors to actually trust you more because you're for real. You're not a bullshitter, right?
Yeah.
So
you're a BSer. You're a esser of the bees. You BS. Okay, I'll go on to the next one. Nobody's laughing at me. Next one. So here's another example of getting people to like what you. Keisha just shared a personal thing. She just shared that she had lunch with myself and John Castman, one of our older coaches. And again, do you remember how I just said, like, I don't want to share that? She was calling Window.
Yeah,
right here.
She emailed us thanking us, about the lunch and what Mike and John have done for her. And I told her, why don't you post this on Facebook, on Apartment Investment Secrets? And she was like, really? I should post this? Yeah, you should. You'll be amazed about the results. And true enough, she posted this and she got like 20 people, wanting not just 20 people who reach out to her, but 20 people who are actually investors who are like, hey, I have 50,000, I have 100,000, contact me on your next deal. Let's
go on to the next one.
Yeah, this one is...
Go ahead.
Yeah, this one is, like talking about sharing your failures. And I don't know, guys, if you can see the graphics here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so blurred when, through Zoom. I think you can...
That's loser. That's when I was in my loser status.
Yeah. So...
Man, how you going to be like 30 years old sleeping in a sailor boat? You're on that sailboat. Man, this was just sharing what I was going through, man. I lost everything and I was couch surfing, then moved back home for a little while, man. I think that was right before the pink lavender room. Yeah. But
yep. There's an example of sharing your failures or I would say your story, right? Going from adversity to success, people like to learn more about you. So you gotta put yourself out there in order for people to like and connect with you. So
yeah, no, I mean, and sharing your failures are everything, man, because it shows that you're real. In social media, a lot of people don't know what's real.
Yeah, a lot of people pretend to be successful when they're not.
Yeah.
What
is that? Is that fugazi? They like being fugazi? All right. Fugazi is like fake. All right, let's go on to the next one. So we help mastermind members attract investors through social media. Tim Vest Group raised over $4 million and estimates 80% of that came through LinkedIn, through posting. Keisha Kennedy has over 20 investors she attracted through Facebook and now has investors through LinkedIn as well, just by using these same steps. Let's go on to the next one, man. Look, again, over and over again, multiple students are learning to attract money, whether it's through equity groups, whether it's through private investors, whether it's you're a sophisticated investor, non-accredited or accredited, which we prefer accredited. But either way, you just use these simple steps. Simple steps. Put it into action. Put it to work, and you will do the same. And look, we'll speed it up because I'll never forget me and Nate, man. We didn't have a process. We didn't have people that shared with us how to raise capital. We literally went through the school of hard knocks and went out on the show. And for weeks, months, and a year, nothing, crickets. And look, we were doing deals. Now, I will say we were changing our strategy on things that we were doing. So we didn't really have the experience behind it to support it. But regardless, we were still doing apartments, hotels, and I couldn't get an investor for nothing until I changed my strategy. We started talking more about the investor. We talked about sharing what we can do for the investor. We start sharing Facebook, Instagram, social media, and then all students, investors, and all those things, those people came. Just follow the process and trust in it, and it will work. Let's go. And look, for you guys that are on Twitter, which I suck on Twitter, well, we're going to kick it off one day, but I don't even do that well. But Madeline, just one time, one post, got $100,000.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just sharing what she does and what she thought about it. And the only reason she got 100 because that's all she asked for.
Yeah, she could have gotten more. You're right.
And these students are killing me. Every student I deal with always doing something good. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, they learn in 18 months what took Mike 18 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're haters. Students are haters. Or maybe I'm the hater.
You're the hater, man. Yeah, but seriously though, so LinkedIn is very good. Facebook, especially if it's a targeted group like Apartment Invest and Secrets or the BRRRR Invest, there are accredited investors in those groups. And Twitter is good too. Like according to the study, like LinkedIn is the #1 B2B social media platform, followed by Twitter. So in other words, in a way, right, when you're dealing with private investors, it's a business to business, right? So there you go. That's a hint there.
Nice.
On what you can focus on.
All right, what we got next here?
All right, next slide.
Man, look here. This is where you get shining on them, man. You gotta shine on them sometimes. Not that much. Man, I just did a simple post on. Look, this was during COVID, and I was just sharing like, hey, man, this is how I feel like I'm going to Cuba, man. And I had my little hat and my cigar. I don't even smoke, but I had my cigar to watch, and hey, look, I'm inspiring. I'm look like I'm having fun. This is not boring. And look, it's just real. Just being yourself. Leveraging social media. I mean, these are the simple things that you do and just share about yourself. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Matter of fact, don't think about it. Just do it. Hey, like we always say, barbecue or mildew. Which one are you going to do, baby? All right, let's go to the next one. So look, we teach our mastermind members how to raise private capital. In fact, Mike will even call you. I even call people, to talk to them.
Yeah, they're prospective investors. That's what you did for Tim.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've helped numerous people raise money, and you can do the same. Look, go to NassauInvest.com/waitlist and get on the wait list, man. We're about to open class back up where we'll share tons of information. Not only do we talk about raising capital, we tell you where to find the deal, how to find the deal, the good in deal, how to analyze the deal, put your executive summary, the SEC laws and policies you need to raise capital.
We even share the actual paperwork
We share the paper.
Yeah,
I mean, that
the legal
alone is
paperwork.
$15,000 in paperwork.
Yep.
We share all these different information so
Syndication
that
paperwork.
you can be successful. Whatever it is that you want to do, those apartments or hotels, you can do the same. And whether it's a 5-unit, a 20, matter of fact, you can use this to BRRRR because we BRRRR hotels, we BRRRR apartments. Listen, house hacking, you still can apply all of these same methods with this course. Go to NassauInvest.com/waitlist. What we got here next? So next week, it's how to find deals in today's hot market. And it's literally smoking out there. What is it, like 100 degrees out there?
Literally.
Bruh. It's like
Yeah, it's-
100 degrees.
Okay, but in terms of the mastermind, guys, it's not really a course per se, but the focus is implementation and collaboration. So we get you from, maybe you have one rental property to scaling up to 100, 200, 500 units, right? So like our most successful mastermind members like Tim Vest, how many units does he have now?
He's like 864.
Something like, actually he's close to 900 units now, Mike.
That's bananas.
Yeah, and then Keisha Kennedy is almost 400 units. And then Malika Woody is like over 100 units. I mean, and Malika just started like less than 6
All
months
these people
ago.
just started and they coming up off just a simple course. Look, get yourself educated, get out there, learn all that you can about real estate, and then, go from there, man. Look, you'll never build wealth unless you take equity, unless you take ownership. And all of that, taking ownership of your responsibility. Take the steps that you need to get to build wealth. You want to become wealthy? You want to grow? Stop trading your time for money. Trade your time in for equity and ownership. All right. NassauInvest.com/waitlist. Hey, man. So next up, man, who's our special guest today? Drum roll, please. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. All the way from the prisons of Lebanon.
The prisons of Lebanon.
The Appalachian.
Noble County, baby.
My man, my partner, my friend, my brother, man, give it up for the Burmaster, Nate Barger.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man? Hey, man, Mike.
That looks crazy, man.
Your brother
What do you
from
mean?
another mother.
Well, when I met you, I was broke and I was skinny. Now I got millions, I'm fat. And you ain't gave me a new shirt yet. So I'm still rocking the same shirt, man. Like, hey, if you want to get fat, you ain't necessarily got to eat food, but you want to get fat, listen to this, man. We got a great presentation ahead for you guys. And Mike, I need an extra large, not a medium.
I got double. There's double X.
This is a double X.
That's already double extra large.
Well,
need a
when
quadruple
you met me, I was not eating as well, man. Now we getting this money.
Major key.
Yeah, man. So y'all want to get this money? What we talking about today, brother?
It's on you, man. So, Nate, for the people who don't know you, tell us about your background. How did you discover real estate and how did we meet? So you got two questions. Tell us about your background and then how did you discover real estate?
All right. Let me take the shirt off. I can't breathe. Oh my God.
Oh, shirt's so tight.
Seriously.
Instagram. Instagram, did that shirt look tight? I don't know.
IG in the building, baby.
Peel him out of it. You gotta peel out of that.
Oh, compression shirt on the outside.
All
right, so look, man. Well, y'all know, man, I was I was fortunate enough to meet some people in my life, just like a lot of you guys. Some of you guys will take advantage of it, some of you guys won't. For me, man, I was so hungry. And when I say hungry, man, I was like just wanted something to do. Like I was selling drugs, I was making over $1 million, $2 million a year. But like I'm going back to jail. I went to prison twice when I was younger. So I just never made excuses though. I never said, well, man, I went to prison, so I can't do this, or I can't do that. Mike could tell you I was a bit delusional. I felt like I could do anything. And You know,
well, sometimes you gotta be delusional to go big, man. You gotta be a little crazy.
My son's delusional right now.
Yeah,
he's
well, both our kids are delusional. Like
yours got a scholarship and he's 13. I don't think he's delusional. I think he's crushing it. You just, yeah. And so, but look, man, I grew up in poverty. I grew up not too far from where Mike grew up at. Honestly, I mean, Mike, you grew up in College Hill.
Yeah, we're about two neighborhoods.
We're about 7 crack houses away from each other. Like, so
you're able to measure the distance to the same.
Yeah, seven crack houses. That was major ones. Then you had some minor ones in between. But we talking about the late 80s, early 90s, man. And so I grew up listening to rap music, man. To be honest with you, Mike, I thought it was real. I didn't know it was just entertainment. And so I was like, yeah, I want to be a big drug dealer. I want to be a pimp. Then I started like looking at pimps, and then I was like, man, I don't want to deal with them girls. So I ended up going to military school at a young age, and ended up meeting with other like-minded individuals who just happen to be criminals. So when Mike talked about like-minded individuals, like, what are you going to do? You're going to be criminal-minded, or you're going to be investor-minded? Mm-hmm. So I was 14 when I went there, and I met Mike. I met you when I was about 20, probably 28, 2003.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And now I spent the rest of that time like selling drugs, criminal-minded, never met one single person that wasn't criminal-minded until I met Mike. And Mike, I promise you that. I'm not saying I didn't meet him. I'm just saying I never understood that. And so when I met Mike, man, I was like, man, this guy's smart. He knows how to do what I want to do, but I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. Mm-hmm. And, I think you was crushing it and you just lost everything, man. So you was kind of like on the downswing. You just lost everything. You went from millions to broke, not broke to million. Just flip the shirt upside down. Flip the book, man. Flip it upside down. And that's a process that a lot of millionaires, they said the average millionaire goes bankrupt 3 times.
Yeah, Disney went bankrupt and he lost his mind.
Well, I just went bankrupt and was still delusional. So I felt like I could do anything still. So it was just figuring out the next solution. And so when I met you, man, you really showed me that there was a different way. And then, I remember you were kind of like, I was like, just loved Mike for that. He was educating me, giving me these books. He was teaching at the time at one of these vocational schools. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my drug money because I know I can't keep doing this. And so end up like being real estate. I think when me and Mike he knew I loved him for the information. I don't know if you knew that, but I loved him because he was sharing so freely. And so he kept saying, man, I really like this Range Rover. I had a Range Rover and I didn't really, I had bought it for this girl I was with, and I wasn't with the girl no more. She liked driving it. She liked driving it. And it was a nice one. It was the 4.6. It was a big one.
It was that Jay-Z joint. Like, what's the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6?
A sticker. A sticker. And so Mike was like, I really like that. And then I just threw him the keys. I was like, man, here, man, take it and pay me off when you get it. And Mike was shocked. He was like, huh? Like, I'm broke. I was like, nah, man, you ain't broke. We about to get this money, baby. And then Mike asked me the question, how? And I was like, I don't know, but if you hanging with us, we gonna get this money. I had no idea. And then I was like, I thought you knew that. Like, I just know how to sell weed.
You know what's crazy though? That's full circle. This true story. Nate is just a giving guy. And he had that car. I mean, Nate worked deals. First of all, Nate's never going to pay full price for nothing. So let's just be clear about this. And he had bought that car in the value, but he still like literally threw me the keys and said, don't worry about it. We're going to get this money. I just did the same thing yesterday with Jurius. Jurius, we did, well, technically we did, but Jurius, his money didn't come in.
Oh, yeah. So you gave him the Tesla money.
And we gave him money, good, like, here, just don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it. It's 25% interest.
2%.
But that's just mindset. That's just being in a place that's putting that work in, man. And so despite going bankrupt in 2009, you didn't give up. Why didn't you give up?
Man, I had already went to prison twice, man. I knew how to sell drugs and make money. I must have failed over 20 times trying to start legit businesses. And I just didn't have any. I mean, what else was I going to do? Sell drugs the rest of my life? I had already had 4 felonies. I knew I was going to go back to prison for a long time if I got caught, because I was selling so much weed at that time. The feds, it was a Fed case. You know, I'm bringing in weed from Texas, Arizona. So now you're talking about federal cases instead of state cases. And, you know, with my, what do they call that thing, that multiplier the feds give you, man? I'm looking at minimum 12. And probably 18 to 20, or they could even hit me with the RICO. So, you know, I'm like, man, I got to do something different. And I was just trying. And then I met Mike and the properties, man. We were doing something back then. We had no idea what it was. Today, we call it the BRRRR method. Back then, we just called it buying a piece of crap property, fixing it up and going to the bank and getting money back. We called it like, yeah, I'm going to do a cash out refi. Well, then we learned so much. And this is the stuff that you guys will learn from me and Mike. And man, you come to the conference, you're going to learn network. All the stuff, like one little tidbit we might share, which might save you $1 million. It might save you a major mistake that'll change the trajectory of your life. You're either going to go and retire in 5 or 10, you're going to work till you're 65, tell the kids, sorry, I ain't got it. Like, that's a bad feeling, man. And then, now it's a good feeling to tell them I ain't doing that, but it's a bad feeling to tell them I can't do that. Yeah. So, you know, that's why we teach this real estate, man. That's why we show you guys this, because we are passionate about you not going through the same. Most people, logical people, reasonable people would have gave up. I'm just being real with you, man. They would have gave up.
Yeah.
And so me and Mike were just so bound and determined that we just fed off each other. Like,
yeah, but truth, and I was sharing earlier, you made a shift. There was a point in your life that you made a shift and you made this commitment that regardless, I'm going to do this. And because of that, it changed your mindset. And it now it moved into this, I will never win if I quit. So
you know when that was, Mike?
When was that?
That was when I met Mike, I was already bound and determined. I was making millions of dollars selling weed. So I was already looked upon like as successful, but there was no growth past where I was at. It was like, okay, we're bringing in 330 pounds of weed. Okay, let's bring in 4,000 pounds. That was the only growth. And so when you gave me that book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, man, I didn't just read that book, man. I became that book. And I realized that my whole mindset, my paradigm of thinking changed. And I now felt like, instead of feeling like, wow, I can only sell weed to make money, I felt like, man, I can do anything. And then that's when Mike he got his realtor license. And, you know, I think you ended up being the broker on my first, or the agent on my first, second, third, fourth. We were just buying properties and fixing them up and renovating them. And Mike could tell you, like, my first property I renovated, man, I'm amazed today. I did a freaking huge 2-family, man. Remember Hutchins, 868 Hutchins, for $12,000 in like a week.
Oh my God.
That was like $100,000 renovation.
We went to some of the roughest areas and the roughest properties.
Yeah, man.
And started renovating with no thought. Like, let's just go. We're just doing it. I mean, there was times we made some mistakes. I remember one time you guys went to an auction and you bid on a property, was the successful bidder.
Yep.
And then a couple of days later, I don't even know if it was a couple of days later, you get a notice, the property is going to be demoed.
No, that wasn't how it happened.
Okay.
So here's how it happened. We bought the property. I still remember dates. You know, I remember dates, brother. So we bought the property in June of 2015. I kept watching the auditor. We bought it. We paid cash. It was a 6-unit. We paid like 18 grand for it. And then we were just going to renovate it. We were going to figure out how we was going to get the money. See, some of you guys are waiting for everything to be perfect. I had no idea how the hell we were going to get that money. I just knew, man, if we close on a property, we're going to get the money. Right? Now, I ain't saying I always do that, but I'm saying if you're an entrepreneur, do that. And how do you know you're an entrepreneur? I'm going to jump into that later. But look, so I go out there July 28th. They finally transferred it to my name. August 1st, I go out there and there's yellow tape around it. And I'm like, man, someone get killed? Because it happens, you know? And then I walk, and then they had a paper up on the door And I'm like, okay, so I go up there and it was like, talking about it's gonna be demoed in a day, 2 days. They demo on my building, like, whoa, I just bought this new city. How y'all gonna come in here? I felt like.
Now the normal response, and you tell me, people that's watching, how would you feel you spent like all the cash? I ain't gonna say it's all the cash, but you had a lot of cash.
It was a lot of it,
How much you had? 30 grand on that one? 25,
man,
30 grand?
18 grand.
Yeah, 18 grand. And all of a sudden you find out that the place is going to be demoed. What are you going to do? Just anybody on Zoom, I'll be laying on the
and the city.
I'll be laying on the ground in front of the dozer.
Hey, the city. Hey, look, man, the city sold us the building, and then they were tearing it down. I felt like, they gave me $100 bill and snatched it from me.
Listen. These guys. So this is when me and Nate start rolling in gym. I'll see if my insurance covers the demo. Hey, what they did when this happened, I was like, oh my gosh, you're about to lose $14,000-$18,000.
I think it was more than that, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was 30. But look, the bottom line, you were like, you and Jim were like, man, they're gonna tear down our building. I can't believe it. We just bought this. How they gonna tear this down? What are we gonna do? And they look at each other. I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then they go get lunch. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. And so we went to lunch. Jim, high as hell. Jim was smoking weed. He was like, you know what we gonna do, Playboy? I'm like, what we gonna do, man? He like, we gonna call up the bank. The bank didn't disclose that it was tear down. Even if you buy it as is, they have to disclose. And he was like, we just go ahead and put up the money for the renovation. And I was like, they're tearing it down in 2 days, Jim. He was like, yeah. I was like, man, what do we got to do? And then,
yeah, but that's kind of what happened.
What happened was, to be honest with you, I went down to the city and called them, and they said, yeah, it's on tear down. Is there anything we could do about it? And then they said no. So then I was like, let me speak to your supervisor. And then, the supervisor was like, yeah, you can file an injunction. I said, tell me about this. What's an injunction?
But from that experience, that laughable, terrifying experience has helped us on multiple deals. How many times have we bought something at an auction and next thing you know, they're about to tear it down? How many times that happened? Do you remember? I remember
you bought a house from the auction and I went up there and it was already tore down. In College Hill. And it probably wouldn't have been a bad buy if we would have held on to it.
No, that wasn't College. That was
North College Hill.
No, it was right here in Westwood.
That was a different time.
Oh.
You did it twice.
That was a different time. I'm talking about you were you was like, I just bought it, man. I just bought us a house for $8,000. And I was like, oh, where at, bro? And then I went around there and I was like, bro, this is a little bitty lot. There's nothing here. I was like, but it's next to a car lot. Maybe they want to buy it. Maybe we could tell them like, we'll finance it. We'll charge them $40,000 and we'll carry the note for 10% for 10 years, whatever.
And so we ended up selling it to that lot.
I think we did. We knocked on their door and sold it to them. So.
Yeah, but there was two other times. There was that 19 unit on McMicken.
Oh yeah. Tell them. So this guy at the auction that we know, I ain't gonna say his name.
Mm-hmm.
You say his name? Because he a pimp. He's a real pimp.
Rollo is a reformed pimp.
Reformed pimp. Okay. So Rollo bought this property for 25 grand, but he thought it was 2,500. Talking about a pimp. It was a 19 unit.
No. So what happened was Sheriff Snow was like, don't come in here with no phones. He said, well, you can have your phone, but make sure it's on silent. And so Rollo's phone went off twice. He gave him a warning. He said, you do it again, I'm putting you out. So Rollo had successfully won 3 of the bids. He was a successful bidder of 3 of them. And so Sheriff Snow kicked him out. And I was like, ooh. and then I walked out. I was like, hey, you want to give up them properties? Or you want me to buy them back? And he was like, yeah. I was like, but you ain't getting that other one. I'll buy these other 2 back and I'll sell them to you. But I'm keeping this 19 unit. He was like, deal. And we ended up buying 2 of the units, sold them to him. And then we kept that 19 unit that he paid 25, or he was
Yeah,
going
because
to
when
pay.
he kicked them out, he took the properties he had bid on.
Yep, he took them back.
And
we ended
everybody
up
was
paying
gone from the auction. Wasn't nobody else left to bid on.
$3,000 for a 19 unit. And that's
And Rollo was paying 25 grand for it.
and we paid $3,000
Yep.
and now it's worth $1 million.
It's worth $1 million. Yeah.
Holy cow.
We only in it for what, 4?
We are in it for 425.
425?
425 is worth $1 million. And guys, that's how me and Mike learned. Everything we teaching you, it's probably worth $1 million too.
But we didn't even tell them what happened. When we bought, next thing you know, there's another bulldozer right in front of the building.
Another bulldozer.
It already has started tearing
I got a picture, bro.
It started tearing the steps down and the balconies off.
Really?
They had came that Friday.
We would probably still have balconies on the building.
Yes, same exact thing happened. If the guy in the bulldozer would have just, that Friday when he parked it, if he would have just went a little farther into the building, it'd have been over. So what do? I ran down there. It finally transferred. It took 60 days. Same thing. We bought about 40 properties that year from the tax auction. I said, Mike, man, they gotta. So Mike comes, man, we unplugging shit from their bulldozer. Like, man, they ain't about to come and start this up and tear down our building.
Post signs.
And we post signs. We took out spark plugs and everything, man.
Yeah, we
went down there.
Hey, for my man that said he'll lay down in front of the bulldozer. We basically did that on that one, bro.
We took their fuel filter, man. We did all kinds of stuff. Like, you ain't starting this bad boy up. You're gonna come to be. And so then we went and filed an injunction. When we get down there and file an injunction, and you got to think at the time, man, I'm bankrupt. Like, I'm really bankrupt. I had called Mike back. Me and Mike kind of went our own ways. He wanted to go do these low income tax credits. I was just like, didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, but I was just buying. And I got up to like,
what you doing?
Man, I got up to like 250 units, man, in like 4 or 5 years. And I was bankrupt though. I didn't understand real estate cycles. I really just didn't have a laser-like focus. So what I do, I call Mike. Hey, Mike, I know you went bankrupt. I need your help. And so I started telling him, man, and everything I'm going through. And I'm like feeling like I got $2.7 million worth of real estate back then. I felt like I was killing it. You know, now I had 2.7 million in debt. I had about 4 million in real estate. And man, I just felt like, dang, man, I was losing it all. And Mike came through and he helped me out. Really helped me out. He started laughing, came in, we negotiated. One of the properties I got today, I had a $150,000 loan on. And I remember Mike, we called this strategic, guys. This is why you don't give up. Mike told me like, hey man, you're gonna win. I was like, how am I gonna win? I'm bankrupt. You know, I got a 400 credit score. And he was like, look, man, this is a great opportunity. And I didn't understand that at the time, but that's why you guys got social media now, man. And you got people that can show you step by step like me and Mike. And so we called the bank. Let me show you what Mike did. So Mike did this right here. He's like, called a lady like, hey, I want to buy the mortgage note. And she was like, okay. He was like, how much? He was like, look up some paper. He was like, $52,147.18. That's all I can give you. And she was like, we'll take it. I was like, so we got a phone. I said, Mike, how the hell you learn that? He said, I seen it in the movie. So, but we didn't give up. And then, so actually this building that we're in right now, Mike's renting from somebody else. We used to own the building. Yeah. We bought this for $1 million. Wow, I was bankrupt. We put the deal together. We just dreamed big, no money down. $1 million. We sold this last year for $5.4 million, guys. No money out of pocket, 400 credit score. Me and Mike both didn't have no credit or no money, but we were like, hey, we need some, we don't have no credit. Well, let's go find somebody with some credit. We don't have any money. Let's go find somebody with some money. We don't have a deal. Let's go find a deal. We don't have a property manager. Let's go find a property manager. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need, you can find it. You put it together. So it's dreaming big. Absolutely. And Mike started dreaming so big that BHAG, and then he started talking about doing these hotels. And I was like, man, I just came out of bankruptcy. I'm doing good, Mike. I'm semi-retired. And then he was like, nah, man, we got to go to the next level. And I was like, we already beat the dragon on Super Mario. Like, there is no next level, Mike. There is no next level. And then he's like, there's a hidden door. And I'm like, well, tell me about the hidden door. And I didn't want to do it really. because I was like comfortable, man. And then I start thinking about it in my mind, like, man, I'm waking up every day. I want to be uncomfortable every day. That's why I was wearing that shirt. I was uncomfortable. So if you stay in your comfort zone all day, you will never grow. I'm telling you, you'll never grow if you stay in your comfort zone. And so with Mike, he started talking about doing these big $20 and $50 million deals. I'm like, how are we going to do that? He's like, we're going to put a team together. And I'm like, okay, tell me about this team. He's like, we're going to get all these people to surround us with, to when they look at the deal, they're not even going to look at us. These people were so strong. They're like, oh, who are them two guys? Oh, that's Mike and Nate. Oh, okay. And that's what we did. We faked it till we made it, man. And we faked, I'm talking about $10, $20 million deals. Basically, you put your attorney up there. You put, like, we found these two guys that have been doing hotels forever that never had any equity. We put them up there. So now when Mike put the bio together, this was our team. This team consists of, the group has done over 267 ground up Hilton builds. Like, it didn't say we ever owned them, but I was just like, I was like, whoa, that was slick. That was really good, Mike.
No, man, that's one of the things, you know, some of you like playing poker, some of you don't like playing poker. But look, man, you got to bet on yourself. So many of us are like sitting behind fear, but behind fear, right behind fear is some of the greatest moments of life. That's where the fun resides. That's where the wealth resides. It's on the other side of fear. But if you don't bet on yourself, somebody like, well, I don't know how to play the game. That's all right. As he just said, fake it till you make it. Sometimes you got to bluff just to understand how it works. And then once you start betting on yourself, you see how people react. You see how different things respond. You see how you fail sometimes, right? That's when you start to learn the game. And then when the opportunity comes, you lay all the cards down.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Baby shark.
Hey, so look, man.
No, man. Nate, so here's the one thing. Some people are like, man, who's the teacher? Who's the student? Man, Nate technically was one of my best students. So Nate, after we came back together, so it's like we talked about how we were together, but we actually separated, went our own ways, because me, you, and Jim. God bless Jim. He was nuts though, man. But you telling me? You mean to tell me? Yeah, Jim would always come up with some random shit every other week.
Love Jim,
but we left, came back together through your bankruptcy. We started educating each other. I kind of took care of the foreclosing, short sales, but Nate was already working deals and meeting people, making money. So not only did I have education and the wisdom, I had deals, and Nate had the people with money.
But let me say this though, man. So Mike inspired me. Then I went out and I was doing these deals. And our first big deal, which I'll say big deal, was a 48 unit.
Yeah.
The 48 unit, we ended up netting over $1 million on. Mike wanted to wholesale it, right?
Yeah.
So I had to push his mind right then. I had to push his mind. But then think about this. Now, once we started getting 500 units, I was so comfortable. Mike then had to start pushing me. That's why you need good people around you, because Mike was like, think about it, guys. Like, I didn't know anybody. Mike knew some people because he went to college. I only knew drug dealers from prison, right? But no, real story, man. Like, oh, this guy's successful. He'll tell you the people. I'd be like, man, we can't sell him that property, man. We know that's drug money. He want to bring all cash. Like, we can't do that deal. And Mike would be like, oh, okay. So,
like, no, I mean, it's challenging. Like if you're not moving forward, right, you kind of at the bottom, and your only reprieve, your only way to move forward, you live in check to check.
Mm-hmm.
And then in order to feel better about yourself, you buy something that you cannot afford.
Yeah.
You broke again.
Oh, yeah. So the cycle is this, man. You work till Friday, you need to decompress, you're miserable, so to decompress, you go buy something that you haven't earned yet. You put it on your credit card. Mm-hmm. I see people putting the groceries on their credit card. Like, bro, that's unsustainable. If you're doing it for points, that's one thing. And then, so by you feel better about yourself temporarily, but then Monday you're in a worse position because now you owe the credit card people. You got to work harder. And so, you know, with me and Mike, man, we just continued to push each other. And then Mike wanted this Escalade so bad. I was like, Mike, tell me about this Escalade. You really want to Escalade? Why you want to Escalade? He said, man, I saw these two guys get out of an Escalade one time and they were just smiling and laughing. And it felt like a commercial. He said, ever since then, man, I just wanted it. And so 2012 came out, 2013 came out of bankruptcy and we were pushing each other. Then by 2015, you know, we had enough money to really retire, right?
I mean, you 3 years later, you're making like 35,000 a month.
Yeah, because I had a lot of units, and then so Mike, you know, me and Mike had hooked up, and I had these private investors, one private investor, and I'll say, even when I went bankrupt, I called him in, and he told me that he would give me more money because he was like, "Man, I saw how you handled it. You did not walk away." And so I was like, Mike got all this money, and then Mike was putting deals together, and we just started crushing it. It just was natural. And Mike will tell you, it wasn't like it was unorthodox. We didn't have defined roles. We just inherently knew what we were both working on. And then we'd touch base like, hey, man, I got this taken care of, this taken care of, this taken care of. And he'd be like, I did this, I did it. And it just happened. And we started doing real well. Well, in 2015, I think Mike went to a Hawks game with one of the owners of the Hawks, who's a good friend of his friend. And he's like, hey, man, how's your hotel doing? And the guy was like, which one, Mike? I got 70 of them. And Mike was like, you got 70 of them? He was like, yeah. And he said the guy just looked happy. He was like, look, man. And then I started meeting all these people at hotel. They were all smiling and happy.
Hey, man.
He was like,
that was the one. That's what really, like, I would love to tell you, I went into hotels because I knew there was sustainable. It was, you know, it was making money and all these different things. No, I did hotels because every guy I met, woman, guy, family, they were some of the happiest, laid back people that had so much money and was laid back and did what do you want to do today? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You want to take the plane? I was like, what do you mean you got a plane?
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they, you know, and white people don't show off no money. They just put it in, hide it in under the bed. They had rings and diamonds everywhere. I was like, that's some rich white folk right there.
Yeah. You're not a millionaire. You're a multi-millionaire.
Or multi-DECAMILLionaire.
Yeah, no, I mean, and look, in that industry, is nothing is majority Indians, and all them Indians had swag, and a lot of them came from first generation or second generation, and all their families, they were coming from India. And I was like, wait the fucking minute, they didn't even know how to do this, and yet they came, started with a motel, and then graduated after doing another one. They kept flipping. And how we talk about sacrificing. You want to learn where I learned about money because I was open to different cultures. Kevin McGraw, Mullen McGraw, white guys, man. I sat and watched them when they were getting money. I'm telling you, 3 or 4 times a year, I know for a fact they netted like $250.
Yep.
McGraw and them would take that $250, take about 15,000 total, make it 20. They would use it to pay their bills for a couple of months, and they would throw the remaining 200 something else thousand back in the deal.
Yep.
And they would do it, and then he'll make another 200 and throw it back in another deal. Like they were just, I was like, damn, why ain't they buying clothes?
But we did the same thing, Mike.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
When you wanted your Escalade, we kept.
I passed on. Like, man, forget that.
We kept every time we're making a deal, make a deal. I'm like, man, you want to get your Escalade? I'm talking about we had enough pay cash. Nope. These deals ain't gonna be around forever. Just kept doing them. And then I was like, man, it was like we got to the top of the steps and we could take a breath. I just take that breath. You're like, hey, man, I think it's time for you to go get your Escalade, right? And it was because we didn't need the money anymore. And I ain't saying we wasn't even wealthy back then. I think our net worth was like $5 million back then. Remember, I did it, and I was like, man, our net worth $5 million. You can go buy you an $80,000 Escalade or 100, whatever it was. It's that discipline, though, guys, because you're gonna need the money. The The property doesn't care if you're broke. The property's like, hey, I need a roof. So it's all learning how to budget for that stuff.
And that was the other reason, man. Like, okay, yes, I just netted $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or $700,000.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Another deal's around the corner, and if you would have took that $300,000, $400,000, bought you a car, and bought you a house and bought them clothes, guess what? It's gone. You remodeled. Look, and this is real stuff. Look, you deserve it all. I want you to remodel your house. I want you to have the pool in the yard. Mike. I want you to have the vacation.
Hold on, man.
I want you to have all the nice cars, right? But look, you gotta be in the process, right? Because at some point, a bigger deal's gonna come, and you're gonna miss out. That $300,000 you spent on that, you could have spent on one deal that would tripled your money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I did.
All right, so look, here's what I want to do, man.
All right. There are questions in the
we got to answer questions.
Okay, so hold on. Before we go to a question, I want to tell y'all about money.
More.
I want to tell y'all about money real quick, man.
All right, well, go ahead.
So once you understand money, guys, like let's say 20,000, like a lot of y'all got 20 grand. And then Mike, just in us investing in deals, we're going to get at least a 20% return, right?
That's right.
And I'm telling you, that's what we typically give our investors. So we're going to get more than that. We're at 15 to 20%. So let's say you take that 20,000. This is the pool. This is an above ground pool. This ain't no below ground. So 20,000. This the sacrifice here. But so here, let's take that 20,000 times 1 point. Let's just say a 1.2 to the power of 20 years, compounded $766,000, right? So once you learn how to make money, now you got to do it without working. So in real estate, we still got to work, but we do have investors that they don't really have to work, but that's the power of compounding interest, guys. Understanding wealth, instead of saying, well, I only got 20,000. Well, what you going to do with it? Maybe 766,000 in 20 years, though. You probably ain't gonna be able to buy no Fruit Loops with.
All right. Malika had Ray Kessler asking for Just Invest 200. I have to leave webinar, but I'm happy to chat with him if he wants to reach out.
Here, actually,
okay.
Ray Castañeda asked this question. I have an investor with 200,000 in his house in cash.
Oh, you got 200 in the house in cash?
Can just deposit those large amounts, but wants to buy property. How can he do this?
Okay, Ray asking suggestion. I have to leave. What he got 200 in cash, or he got 200 in the house?
So if you scroll up, Ray Castañeda actually asked that question.
Okay.
And he said he has $200,000 in his house in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Can't just deposit those large amounts, but wants to buy property. How can he do this? P.S. He runs a legit cash-heavy business, auto repair shop, not doing anything illegal.
I used to have a cash-heavy business.
Hey, so one of the things you got to do is you got to refi. That's all part of that BRRRR. Buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. And so you got to, if you don't have your taxes in order, because most people doing cash deals, they do their accounting, but they report less than what they're making. So, but the good thing about houses, you'll get the depreciation that'll allow you to offset your gains that you're making on your car business, your auto repair shop, right? Mm-hmm. So I encourage you to go and refinance it. And then, as we said, repeat, all right? Get the 3 rings, right? Get the 4 rings. Who got 5, 6 rings? Who got
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan got 6.
Yeah.
All right. And so does Tom Brady. All right. So look,
Tom got 7.
You got 7?
Yeah,
you got 7. Repeat the BRRRR. Yeah. Do it over and over again. That's what I would do right away. What's another question?
Michelle Coulter. What's the best way to vet investors to avoid scams?
What's the best way to vet
or to do the due diligence on the investors to avoid scams? I guess
the investor or the person that has the deal.
The investor. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm thinking this is more like, on BRRRR and AAS, we will have people who would say, hey, I can lend you money, 100%, 4% interest, something crazy like that. Yeah. So how do you vet those people so you avoid getting scammed by them?
Well, we got our own lending site for, BRRRRinvestlending.com on people that we vetted. Mm-hmm. On the larger commercial deals. I know Mike's working on getting that right now, man. it's hard financing. All of our lenders said, hey, we're going to pause. We're not going to do any new loans with this new rate increase yesterday, because they said we may create loans, and they got $10-20 million warehouse line of credit. They're creating these. They said, man, we go to sell these. We don't know if they're going to buy them. And we don't know what the rates are going to be. So we're on pause right now for a week or two. So it's definitely going to slow the economy down. They wanted to slow it down.
Yeah, that's another story about inflation. But the thing about checking on, just get some references. That's the first and easy step.
Actually, I have a step easier than that.
Okay, go for it. Will.
So if the investor or lender asks for money upfront,
that's a scam.
That's a scam. Run the opposite way. That's the first step. That's the first thing that I do. That I do is, how much is your fee upfront? If they say I don't have a fee upfront, then that's legit. If they say, oh, I charge $1,000, like, oops. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, you ain't gave me nothing yet. Like there's people, and I'm not saying they're not legitimate, but majority of the time they're not. I don't understand why they ask for a fee.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm paying you and you're going to get paid at closing. Now, if you're doing, they were like, well, we got to put all these due diligence items together. I was like, so do I, bro.
Yeah, remember they told us they needed 40,000. Somebody just told us that
we need.
Was it 40?
I had people say they need 100,000.
I need $40,000 deposit.
Yeah. I just start working. We got a question on Instagram. Hey, Mike, how are you happy about the new interest rates? I mean, it doesn't bother me. Without a doubt, I would like to have the low interest rate, but the bottom line is when you have a low interest rate, the price is going to be up anyway. If I get a higher interest rate, the prices are going to decrease. So, I mean, it's kind of doing the same thing. It doesn't really bother me. Another reason why it doesn't bother me as much. Now, it bothers me if I'm a seller and I didn't sell my property before they push the rates up. Right. Because I'm not getting, here's a perfect example. If we would have put a multi-unit under contract 2 months ago, we probably got what, 500 grand, 300 to 400 grand more. Is that fair?
No. It hasn't affected the cap rate yet.
Well, no, we would have got 5 cap. They buying at a 6 cap.
Man, I don't think it's really affected yet, man. It hasn't trickled down. There's still so much pent up demand. And the thing is, that the rents are still rising so fast that there's still opportunity. So,
yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we were doing deals when we were paying 11, 12.
Oh my God,
13,
that one
15%.
deal we were talking about, man, we paid 11%. Look, let me tell you guys how insignificant interest rates are. And I'm telling you, the people that are complaining about interest rates, man, you were the same people saying you couldn't find a deal, you couldn't find a contractor. Now the interest rates are high. Listen, you're looking for a reason not to do a deal, you're going to find them.
Yep.
There's 100 of them. That's why I said earlier, I'm going to tell you how you know you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs do not worry about things they cannot control. I don't care about the rates. I don't care if you can't find contractors. That's not my problem. I'm going to go find them. I don't care if you can't find deals. My kid, my wife, my house, my mortgage payment doesn't care about how you feel about it's tough. Yeah. You got to change your tough, man. That's not tough. Tough is being, swimming from sharks, man, and you're bleeding and you don't even know the hell lands at. That's tough. Change your tough, man.
Yeah, no, man, choose what you want to do, man. It doesn't matter.
We paid 11% interest we bought that property for 220 grand. We put 160 in it. We had 380,000 in debt. We paid the investor for 4 years, 11%. We paid him $167,000, 11%. Me and Mike have first year about 25,000 cash flow, 40,000 second year, 50,000 third year, 60,000 fourth year when we sold it. That was cash flow after paying the investor. We ended up selling that building. We had about 200,000 cash flow. We ended up selling it, walking away with $1.2 million plus the 200. We ended up getting $1.3 million, $1.4 million. The investor got 167 grand. Who cares about interest rates? We made over $1 million on that.
The bottom line, you just got to find a good deal.
That's it.
You find a good deal.
Yeah.
If the rates are higher, you got to find it better. You got to find a deal that justifies using that kind of loan. Like that. That's it, man.
Right. If you're ugly like me, you have to find a blind girl. It doesn't matter, man. Come up with a solution.
Okay. So question from Julie Boyd related to the topic. We talk about the how to raise money through social media. So are your posts just posts, or are you paying for additional exposure? You want me to answer that, Mike?
Yeah, go ahead. You
So 99% of the posts that we have, we don't pay for. But there is this strategy which is called hyper organic. So all the posts that we have are all organic, right? So it helps us to grow our follower base and so on. However, to boost it, you can boost a post that has done very well, so that now you expose it like 10 times more, and that's a way for you to increase your follower base exponentially. So, but if you're just starting out, don't pay. Just post consistently, and because when you do that, then you get to learn what posts you should have, and then those are the posts that you should start putting money on. So
yeah, I mean, and there's I've been to a couple of conferences, and some people do them different. Some, they focus on creating a branded advertising. They spend a lot of money, they spend a lot of money to make it look natural. And once they create that video, that's great. They will spend money advertising it. Then there's people who actually started off that had a nice base of 100, 200,000. All they do is advertise to sell their product. We ourselves are organic. Have we done paid ads? Yes. But that's typically when we do paid ads because we're selling a product. All right.
Right.
I'm sitting in a parking lot waiting to make a deal with a restaurant owner. So please forgive me to come in and leave it early. I'm trying to get in the money. Okay.
Are you selling drugs?
Okay, so Mike Dawson has a good question.
What do you got?
If you make an educational post with a dual purpose of attracting investors without asking, are you breaking any laws should investors come to you from said post?
Yeah, no. So that's really about what are you posting. So what you can't go and say, hey, I'm raising capital, let's invest, right? The proper way, if you filed a 506c, right, Reg D, and you subscribe it, then you can advertise. If you have a 506b, and a B, I like to say, is for both, that's for accredited and non-accredited, then you have to establish some type of relationship. So it doesn't, you don't have to know the person for years, but a simple, you went out to dinner and had lunch, and that's verifiable with a receipt or people that's there, then you can utilize that investor. But the big thing is, so if you're doing a 506c, you can go out and promote, but what you can't do is go out there and say, we guarantee. You can only say we have projections.
Red flag. Right? Anybody's ever say they guarantee, run from that, man.
Right. So you can say, hey, in the past, we've consistently done this, but you cannot say I guarantee. And, but yeah, you just got to be careful on some of the things that you post. But if you're doing a 506b, you cannot advertise.
Hey, guess what, Mike?
What's up?
Did you know that you can do start as a 506b this year?
Yeah, you can start as a 506b and
turn it into a 506c.
And then after you filled it up, because most 506b, you're only allowed to have about 30 investors. Mm-hmm. And once you fill that up with non-accredited, then you can move on to the 506c.
So with the 506c, you can advertise because these are accredited investors, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like you said, you can't be like, hey, I guarantee you I can get you 25%. But you can say, hey, we got this deal, we got this type of offering. It's for accredited investors only. What is it? I kind of feel like it's kind of unfair that only millionaires can invest in certain things. But then what I want to tell you is that anything that you feel like is unfair in life, then go become a millionaire. Then you can invest in them.
Yeah. So Mitchell asked again, what's the 506B, 506C? That's just the regulation name that they give for when you file for your PPM, which is your private placement memorandum, which is your document, your subscription agreement, so that you can legally accept money for these properties or deals that you sell shares in. All right. So the 506B is accredited and non-accredited. Accredited means you have a net worth over $1 million or you're making $300,000 a year. Non-accredited is you don't meet those parameters. Shin Jong said, but how do you have to change the way you look at deals? It's not so much you look at the deal differently. It's just you got to adjust for it. So if your deal worked at 4% and the rate's at 6%, well, you got to change the rate.
Wait, Mike. I think it really is how you look at deals, though. A lot of times, like, you taking that for granted, but through the last 10-year bull run, we never had a shortage of deals. Never. One time. We never didn't have deals, because a lot of you guys will say, what kind of cap rate is it? Man, I don't care about no cap rate. I don't care what we're buying it at. I care about where I can get it. I just got off the phone with a buddy of mine, and you know what I'm talking about. He said, Nate, but I got this place and they want $3 million for it, and it's a 6-unit. It's on the beach down in Florida. And he's like, man, they're telling me I got to put 45% down because it don't cash flow. Now, this is a guy who got probably more money than me and Mike. Like, he got money. I didn't say we broke, but I said, look, man, here's how you got to put that deal together, right? You tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, go ahead.
So the rents are $2,500 times 6, right? So it's only bringing in $15,000 a month. I said, but let's look at renovated. This thing, the rents are $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So instead of borrowing the $3 million and putting 45% down, I said, you're going to borrow $3.5 million and put 25% down. He was like, wow, I like that.
Sorry, finish your story. And then,
that's the play, yeah.
But I was about to say, man, he can buy that, and then that's what we'll break ground with. We'll build up.
We'll break, but that's going to take a long time. He needs immediate depreciation, because our buddy just bought a car dealership. He bought a Chevy dealer. He's making a lot of money, man. He's like, man. So, anyways, with that deal right there, you go raise the rents to $5,500 a month. Now you got $324,000 gross operating income instead of $180,000. So now it services debt with 25% down. That's an easy fix. That's the stuff me and Mike look at day in and day out. And instead of going to the bank and saying, hey, I need to get a traditional loan, you say, I need to get a construction loan. I'm paying $3 million for it with this $500,000 renovation. I'm going to be able to push the rent from $2,500 to $5,500. And here it goes, all the rents that are in the comp set. And here's how. And then they look at that, the appraiser comes out and says, yeah, he's right.
All right, we're going to take one more question, then we got to get out of here. Who else we got? What we got? Anything?
Yeah, actually, we're already over time. Yeah,
okay.
We should do the millionaire mindset.
All right, it's time, baby. It's time for Mike's millionaire mindset. Hey, man, Nate, first of all, before we get out of here, everybody give it up for my man, Nate, man.
Thank you, guys, man. Hey, golly, man. I need that live stuff right there.
Yeah, man. My man, Nate, man. We've been putting it down, bro. Hey, you scroll up so you can see what everybody said to him, man.
Oh, we had a lot of fun, man. My main thing is find somebody that you can have fun with, that you love. Like Mike's a brother to me, man. He really is. So I don't even care about money. He don't either.
I really, yeah. So we have different kind of problems now.
What kind of problems?
When you go to your account,
they got Jenny Craig and Rogaine. Like, we could solve those problems.
All right, hey man, let's wrap up and then we're gonna get out of here. So look, man, stop trading your time for money. You know, when you're trading your time for money, that means you're going to work. And yeah, you can't now look. But if you start to save all of that money so you can invest and change, then let's do that. Make your money work for you. Don't work for the money. See, like, look, now we don't chase the money. The money works for us. We're driving in our vehicles to find additional vehicles and enjoying life. But the only way you're going to get wealthy is to take ownership. But in order to do that, you must change your mindset. Your mindset will catapult you to success. The reason why you're not as successful as you want to be, because you're not thinking big. Here's a perfect example. Here's another example. I shared about myself. I shared all the big things, but my buddy, Kenny Parker, when we went to college, Kenny said, man, you know what, Mike, I want to be the governor. And I want to do all these things to be the governor. Well, he failed. Kenneth Parker failed miserably. Never made any counsel or anything. But he did become a great lawyer. And from that lawyer, he ended up becoming in the federal. He was a federal prosecutor. Then he became the top prosecutor, to the point he just got appointed by Joe Biden, and he is now a U.S. attorney in the Southeastern District. Big goals, big vision. And look, no, he didn't become governor, but he shot for the moon and landed amongst the stars. What moon are you shooting for? Look, ladies and gentlemen, you have to jump. You can't just sit around, wait for the perfect time, because I promise you, it's never going to be a perfect time. Look, I was 37 years old when I had my first kid. And I was still just as nervous as my friends who had kids when they were 17, 22, 26, and 27. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be something. But you just have to get out there. Some of you want to lose weight. You just got to go to the gym. You got to take one step at a time. Your mindset will change everything. But look, stop being so transactional. Stop trying to get it right now. Look, let me rephrase that. I want you to get it now, but don't expect it to happen off of just one transaction. Sacrifice buying that toy for that multiple return transaction, right? If you do an investment where you take equity, you just turn that into infinite profits. Whereas if you go and buy something with that is depreciating, now you turn yourself into negative assets that depletes your bankroll. And then you have nothing in return. Change your attitude. And when you change your attitude, your altitude will change as well. But you can no longer continue to be fearful. You can no longer continue to be afraid to move forward. As I said before, joy, peace, love, wealth, equity is on the other side of fear. Just go after it. And let me tell you something. Once you get on the other side of the fear, oh my gosh, I want to tell you, it's going to be bells and whistles. You're going to see the paradigm, right? You're going to be on another plane, man. You're going to be in paradise. You're going to be in heaven. And it's right on the side of the other fear. But guess what? The work only just began. Take it in. But you still have to fight. Like I was watching the game, I was watching the Warriors and the Celtics the other day. I was like, damn, man, you got two of the best teams in the country right now battling it out. They're so good, but they fighting back and forth, jumpers, fouls, and everything. And then somebody had to take the lead, but it was a fight throughout the entire game. In this game of success, in this game of real estate, in this game of wealth, you're going to have to continue to fight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's just not going to be all just love you, because if you stop, you quit, and you become stagnant, you're building a legacy. You got to fight for it. Hey, that's my time. This is great. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, God bless you. God keep you. And may God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. Hey.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Yeah, no worries, man. Who are we giving this book to, man?
All right. Some sounds. There you go. All right.
Thanks on Instagram. Appreciate you. On Zoom, who we giving this book to, man?
All right. Let me see. We will give the book to Zachary Najak.
Zachary
Najak.
All right, man. Oh, there he is. My man, he hung in there all the way to the end, man. Hey, let's give a shout out, Clarence.
Zachary Najak.
Equity, My Summer Property, Instagram.
What's your email, Walt?
Corey Green, CO French, Nesh, Catherine Bay. I need my glasses. I can't see shit. Clarence, what's up? Hey, roll up. We got Angel, Carlo, Craig, Ethan, Igor, Jack, Jen, Joanne, Javanka, Julie, Justin, Kareem, Keisha, Lawrence, Michael, Mike Dawson, Mitchell, Nate, Raj, my man Raj being there, Ray, Shannon, Shin, Skip, Solomon, Stephanie. I see you, baby. Is that all of them? Oh, no, still some more. Teresa, Future, and my man Zachary winning the book.
That's Yakira.
Yeah, I got Yakira in the building.
Future ND.
Hey, man, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. If you haven't, get your book. If you haven't, buy your BRRRR 360 ticket now. Go to BRRRR360.com. BRRRR360.com. You're going to see a lot. I'm not even going to tell you all the people that's going to be there yet. Not going to do it yet, because it's going to blow your mind. Fire. You hear him? Fire.
Fire.
It's going to be fire. Tell them again, when.
It'll be fire.
Peace out. See you next week, man.
See you guys.
Wait a minute, I won't back down, no. Wait a minute, I stand my ground, oh. Wait a minute, I'm stronger now, oh, wow. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. You try to knock me down.